we are going to revise the last lecture as well, because it was not that deep, and we just left the examples as well. So today again we are going to revise it, because these topics are very very much important while making any decision regarding the business processes. So again today we are starting our lecture with the business processes, because this all discipline contains all the processes and all the business techniques with respect to saving the time. So again we are going to do that. And the last class we did the mapping symbols, that how we can map and we can jot down the process which we are having in our mind. Because lots of time what happens that we have lots of ideas in mind, and but we cannot jot down into the black and white paper, and we don't know the trick how to do that, and this is the thing which is unplanned. So these are the symbols, and always make the flow chart before making any process in any in every walk of life. So these are very very much helpful, and we have completed this thing, so we'll move towards the example. So this is how they have made the examples, that if there is that if we have any dealer who is giving the order, that what is the procedure, that if dealer receives the order or not. So it's all about situation. It's your situation, that what is happening in your situation, because every situation, every company has a different policies and regulations. Someone just deliver the order, and there are no vendors included in it. So you have to make it according to your situation. Like, it's one possible solution. You can make ample of solutions out of this kind of situation, that you have given the order to a dealer and he is receiving the order. Like, there are lots of errors which can happen during this process, like transport problem, or any internet problem, or any receiving problem. And there are like, you can expect the delays. Even if you don't get anything, you just have to tell me. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, so last time we have did this thing as well, and now we are going to do this process improvement. Like, what is process improvement? Like, we have already discussed about this thing, that the process which includes obviously the improvements, and you can do the improvements in lots of ways. uh, for example, if you have value, cost, description, and action, because these are the four preambles which you need while making the improvements, or while making any process with respect to the business. Two pluses means that
Okay, ma'am.
net, okay, hello. Net
Okay.
value added activity. Net value means sum of all activities. Okay, obviously it will be needing the value, it will be needing the cost, it will be needing the description, that what kind of activity you are going to add into the process, and then action. So two pluses means that you have added the two activities. Cost means that the cost is okay. Then you have added a net value. Net means the extra value you have put in. And then action, that find ways to increase value and lower cost further. Because everybody wants that your action should be valued and the cost should be low. In a business, it happens that there should be, the cost should be low, as much as you can do, so you can have the more markup, right? Then you have the underperformer. Underperformer means, like, sometimes you feel that in your team, or if even from your side, you feel that there is some lack in the performance, so you just minus the activities. So that's why there is one plus. And then in that condition, you have to put more cost in it. And then the potential value adding activity. Yes, when you are the underperformer, when you feel that you cannot perform well, and your team is also not available, or any circumstances like this, so you add more and more values, you add more and more activities, you add more and more cost into it. And then change to value adding activity or eliminate. Then you become very confused, that whether you have to change, or whether you have to eliminate few activities which are wasting your time, or whether you are adding the activities. So it all depends on you, that what kind of actions you are going to take, what kind of preventive measures you are going to take. Then necessary, sometimes you know the fixed activities about your process. For example, if you have a garment business, so you would be knowing that these things are necessary and these things are not necessary. Okay, so in this, no, you have to go for the compulsory activities. There are lots of compulsory activities, and other are the you can say symptomatic activities. Then again, reduce cost of performing activity. Then obviously, then necessary activities need to reduce the cost. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
these are the very simple rules which you can apply on everything on to improve your process. Symptomatic means that activity caused by poor business practices. Like for example, there are few activities which can be ignored and which can be eliminated, which does not need like any say priority. And but you do that, that this is not going to add any value into my process, but you do that just because of experimentation, but they are not valued. So you need to eliminate that practice as well to cause any kind of inconvenience while delivering your product or while marketing your product.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then we have a swim lane process map. What is swim lane process? So it is a functional relationship versus time. Okay, that how much time do you need to complete your order, to complete your process? Because every situation is different. In every situation you need different uh, span of time, right? Like in networking, that you need 6 months, you need half an year, you need this kind of a laptop, you need this kind of Arduino circuit, etc., etc., right?
Yes, ma'am.
So every process needs different kind of time and the functionals and everything. So that's why we just map swim lane process map, so it can give you the overview that how much time is going to save and what kind of resources you can use while doing that. So let's yeah, do an example. Like they have given us the example of surgical procedure. Okay, so obviously in a surgical procedure there are four things which are very important, like obviously a surgeon, a radiological department, general practitioner, and the patient. Obviously, from the surgeon to the patient, there's a procedure. So according to that, you need to process a map. And then we have apt means like you can say the apparatus as well, or the application, that how they are going to proceed it. Okay.
Ma'am, is it for appointment, I guess, with the
What?
appointment,
What?
patient, patient's appointment?
Yeah, you can say the patient's appointment as well, because how do you start the process? Like by taking the appointment online or on the phone or by walk in. Then you consult your surgeon, and then you go for the surgery.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so this is just an example. You can make your own example as well. There are two other useful names of swimlane process maps as well. Like for example, let me give you an example of MIS support system. This is also mapped on a swim lane process. And the other names are the cross functional flow chart or the Rumler Brash diagram. Okay, so if someone takes these names, so you can click it in your mind that these are called the swim lane processes.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you have done the process measures as well. Okay. Productivity measure. Like what is productivity? It means that what kind of output you had when you were implanting your input. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So let's do a mathematical example. For example, single factor productivity ratio. How can we do that? Batteries produced over direct labor hours. How much batteries are produced in how many hours. So for an instance, the direct labor hours are your input, and the batteries produced is your output. And if it's multi-factor, it means that lots of factors are included in it, so you are going to add lots of inputs, multiple inputs in it. For example, machine hours and the labor hours. If that factory is having the machine and the labors as well, so you will be having two inputs, and then obviously these two inputs are generating the batteries, so output over input. Okay.
Got
Then you
it.
can you
Yes.
can you can also assess the total sales, or the total multi-factor is equal to the total nightly sales over total nightly cost, at how much you have like in how many dollars you have purchased that thing, and in how many dollars you are going to sell it. So that is going to be your markup, or that is going to be your profit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I hope that you are getting it.
Yeah, good. Getting the point, ma'am.
Okay. For example, this is the data they have given you, and they are saying you to calculate the productivity. So how would you do that? There are two cars. There are two categories of cars: car X and Y. Car X is having the 4,000 cars, and Y is 6,000 cars, and they have the different units. So total labor on the X is 20,000 hours, and unit complete to $12 per hour. Okay, and then with respect to why, this is the data. So how would you do that?
Okay, ma'am.
4,000 cars over 2,000 hours, this is going to be the productivity of car X. Then car Y, 6,000 cars over 30,000 hours, right? Then if they want you to put the unit as well, then you will multiply the units and you will have the productivity like this.
Got it, ma'am.
That what is efficiency, that how much effort you have put in and how much output you are having it, how much gain you are having it in terms of percentage, in terms of hundreds, in terms of 90s. It's always not possible. No, there is no ideal situation like 100% in the world. Like obviously if you have put in your 100%, you will be having 80 or 85 or 90% of your output, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the cycle time, that in how much time you have completed your product and you have the output. So this is called a cycle time, which is the definition is the total time required to complete a process from start to the finish. It's called the cycle time. And obviously you can regenerate again and again and again like a spiral. This is the example of benchmarking. The what is benchmark? We just use this word in our daily life language, that this is benchmark, this is how we do that. What is benchmark? Benchmark is something which we which we follow.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
if Shahid is going to launch his company, like we can anticipate that after a few years your company would can be a benchmark. Okay. For example, they have given us the data, the machine that changed the world. So, number of assembly defects per 100 vehicles in 1988, 89. So, they have given us the data of 1989. This is just an example. That average Japanese plant was 34, US plants were 64.6, European plants were 76.8. So, would you, can you anticipate that is this strategic or a process benchmarking?
Ma'am, as I mentioned, normally we are using this kind of benchmarks using the ISO in our networking,
Yes,
ISO
yes, yes, yes.
24001. And for example, in the securities, like if a person has to in the company, if we have a policy for the password for the users, for example,
Hmm.
then they must match at a certain criteria. There should be a capital and a lowercase word,
Hmm.
and some numericals with the symbols. And another thing is this password must be changed within 30 days each month,
Mhm.
like 12 times a month.
Yes. So like you have given this example, so you must be aware of these things, that there is a difference between strategic or a process benchmarking. But nowadays everything is strategic.
Yes, ma'am.
Like because in the old eras, yes, there was a process benchmarking because they were not aware that we are going to be a benchmarked in the market, right? But now everybody wants to be a benchmark, so that's why they make the strategy like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so again, they have given us the more benchmarking data, that labor and machine hours per vehicle. Like when they have the machines, then the average plants gets reduced because the machines were doing the work. You can see
Got it,
the
ma'am.
decrease. Okay, okay. Six Sigma methodology. This is another methodology which is going to, going to help you in making your business process more effective. So there are a few points which you need to understand for this Six Sigma methodology. Have you ever heard about Six Sigma or Sigma? What is Sigma?
Ma'am, I don't know exactly what Sigma means, but as far as I remember, Six Sigma is like kind of a process used by the project management
Yes,
officers.
yes, yes. This is this is the same thing. So they have a few key elements as well. So most of the time they use a Six Sigma methodology. Sigma means to add. Sigma is the mathematical symbol which tells you to add everything. but with respect to that, you must have few things in your mind. Okay, so these things are understanding and managing customer requirement, that what your customer needs, why you are starting your business, and what kind of services you provide to your customer. So you need to be very careful about that, what are the basic requirements of your customer, what your customer needs. Then aligning key business processes to achieve those requirements. Then you have to align all the business processes you have made in your mind or on the paper or with your team. Then you have to align, you have to jot it down, you have to add like a sigma symbol, to achieve those requirements for satisfying your customer, that these are the things which your customer needs, and these can be multiple things or one thing. It depends on your product.
Got it, ma'am.
Okay, then using rigorous data analysis to understand and ultimately minimize variation in those processes. Then you have to diagnose the symptomatic activities, and what are the activities which you can reduce for saving your time, and that you can do that with your data analysis. Obviously, if you want to know the requirement of the customer, what would you do? You would do the survey, right? Nowadays surveys are very very easy by the Google forms or by sharing the links.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So you have to do the survey, and you have to do the a rapid data analysis, that what are the basic requirements a customer needs. And then
Got it, ma'am.
driving a rapid and sustainable improvement to business processes. Then you have to make the improvements that where you lack, because you are responsible, you are the head of your company, you have initiated your product, so you have to be very sustainable as well. And you have to be very rapid and rigorous and energetic, enthusiastic in terms of changing the decisions. If you want to, if you feel that this decision was not a perfect for me, so I need to change it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then again, we have basic processes to basic things, DMAIC and DMADV. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Okay, and then again is define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. So first you control the things, and then you will verify it, you will validate it. So you can validate it by comparing with your competitors. You can verify it with your with any model, okay, the existing model or the state of the art situations. So these are the basic two verification tools for just checking that whether your process, your analyzing of your product is right or not. So
Got it, ma'am.
this is all done by judging. No, your judging capability should be very, very much strong. Okay. We have done this chart as well, that is called generic C&E diagram, which is more like a fish. Like what kind of things they have given us. For example, obviously if you need anything at the output, that is effect. Okay, that how much effect you have put on your customer or on any company. So obviously you will need materials, you will need machines, you will need measurements, and with respect to these things you need manpower on it. You need few effective methods to have an effective and efficacious product.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is another example, and this is the delayed flight. And you can make this chart like with lots of example. For example, why your flight is delayed? There must be any problem in the crew, there must be a problem in the equipment, and there must be a problem in the procedures as well, or the passengers are late. So can you analyze this diagram?
Yes, ma'am. It's again like the fish, and
Fishbone diagram, yes.
yes, and I think this will be useful part for doing the how should I say it? It's kind of investigative part where we can find the root cause of an issue.
Yes. So this is like these are the processes which we need to make. Then you can have the detailed causes of your delayed flight or any example if you are taking. So like you can say the green part, what they have stated, that we can further subdivide these by asking why until we get the root cause. Like you can say that why there is a maintenance problem, and then you can also make another arrow behind it, beneath it, and the why passengers are late, why the policies were not obeyed at that time.
Got it, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so then again we have another analysis. We can make check sheets as well to improve your processes. For example, if you have events, we are going to take this example: late arrival, gate occupied, too few agents accepting late passengers. Day one, day two, day three. Late arrival, yes, there are lots of passengers who have arrived late. Day two, same thing happened. Day three, yeah, there are few passengers. The number of passengers are getting decreased because they have regulated their policies. Then again, gate occupied, like it's empty. Why? Because there is no like error in this side. The gate is not occupied. Okay, then too few agents. Okay, day one they were only one agent, or you can say the few agents. Then day two it was all clean. Day three, yes, again they have got the few agents. That's why the flight was late. Then accepting late passengers. That obviously, if you are accepting the late passengers, they must be go through the boarding process and all. So that's why the flight was delayed. You can see at the day two there are more and more passengers, and they are accepting the more passengers because they have got more lenient. But at day three they are more strict, so that they cannot they should avoid the delay in the flight.
Got it, ma'am.
And then the histograms. Have you ever made histograms on the Excel?
Never.
Okay, so you can try this on the Excel. It's very easy to make histograms. You just put data, and they will. Excel is going to generate the analysis by itself. It's auto generated. So you just put on your data like 100, 85, 70, 65. You just add in this tabular form, and they are going to make the histogram. Like what this histogram is telling that. From late passengers to the other causes, it's getting decreased. What does that mean? It means the process is getting effective day by day. They are following the policies and regulations.
Ma'am, I used to create the pie diagram.
Yeah,
I can remember.
yeah, pie diagram. Yes, this is also the part of improving your let me show you if it's in the no. We don't have a pie diagram, but yes, you can also make these kind of plots as well. Scatter plots and the run charts. Have you made these on this Excel?
No, ma'am. Sorry.
It's also very easy. Like you can make two verses, x-axis and y-axis, and then you can an analysis that how this is happening. For example, in the run chart, what is happening? This graph, what does that show? Like with respect to time, the measurements are increasing and decreasing. Okay.
Can you explain this again, ma'am? Sorry.
Like for example, you have years from 2000 to 2022. Okay, you have 22 years, and you have put this on the x-axis, and then you have few values from 0 to 100. These are the improvement percentages. Then you plot a graph. Then you will get the graph, and you will get the analysis. If it's going up, then you can say yes, my graph is improving. If it's going down, that you can say that your graph is not improving. It is declining, like inflation. Like you can say the price of dollar is getting higher and higher day by day.
Okay, ma'am.
And again we have got the histograms like this is all for today. So if you have any question, any queries, you can ask anytime.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Allah
alaikum
Hafiz.
assalam.